Hey, how's it going out there, Texans? As you can see, I'm standing here with the Vice President of This Is Texas Freedom Force, our Houston Director for This Is Texas Freedom Force, San Antonio Director from This Is Texas Freedom Force, and of course I'm the President of This Is Texas Freedom Force, and we want to talk to you about a bill, HB 2713. Ramon, would you like to tell them a little bit about this bill and where we're at on it?
The HB 2713 is the monument protection bill. It's authored by State Representative Hefner. Right now, that bill is sitting in the calendars. Basically, which means is it's gone through we testified in the bill already, and the committee that it appeared in passed it. Calendars make the decision when to put it on the House floor. So right now, that's where we're at right now.
That's right, and we'll add in onto that. As it sits in the calendars right now, we have a path to get this through the House as well as through the Senate, but we've got to get it out of calendars into the House floor, and so therefore we are asking you for your help. Lamar, can you tell them how they can help?
Yeah, they can help. You need to call more than ever before, because we only have until the 11th to get this thing out of the calendar committee and get it on sent up to the Senate. The Democrats that are on that bill are trying to stall. They're trying to stall the whole thing, and we need to get a hold of the representative and make sure that this doesn't happen. This bill needs to be passed this year.
That's right. We're going to list all of the committee members on the calendars committee and their phone numbers right here at this point. And also, Mr. Randy Bill, let's talk about the Republicans and what they're not doing.
Well, it's typical actions down here in the Texas Capitol. For years and years and years, there's always been the adage, there's too many Democrats in the Republican Party of Texas. Well, that holds true again this year. We have the House, we have the Senate, and we have the governorship. The calendars committee there's 8 Republicans and 3 Democrats, so there shouldn't be any qualms on this. This bill should have been passed the day it hit calendars and put on the floor for a vote. They're holding it up for a simple reason, is there's no difference between Republicans and Democrats. Things are exactly the way they are because that's exactly the way that they want them to be. So what we're asking y'all to do is grab the information that's been provided and burn that calendars committee up, emails, phone calls, make their staff hair stand on end that they're getting so much static in there so that we can get this bill out. It has to be out by the 11th or it's dead again. If it doesn't get out by the 11th, it will be gone this year, and we'll have another 2 years of putting up with BLM. That means Black Liberation Movement for those of you that aren't up on that. Antifa, Red Guard, Brown Guard, whatever it is, they will be empowered for another 2 years, and we'll be sitting there fighting them for another 2 years. And what we don't want to happen is bloodshed to come, because it almost came this year, or 2020, I'm sorry. So if y'all can do that for us, we'd be greatly appreciated.
I'm going to address 2 separate groups of people here. The first is the Republican Party. You were elected to come here, and you were elected to do the will of Texans. You were not elected to do the will of the Democrats. You're not elected to come here and to do the will of Dan Patrick or anybody else. Texans have spoke. 97.3% voted for Monument Protection Bill in 2020. They said they wanted this legislation passed. Yet here we are at the 11th hour waiting for Calendars Committee to get it out. And we've listed the Calendars Committee here on this basic video and their numbers so that you can see who is responsible for this in the House. We have on good guarantee that Senator Creighton, as soon as this thing passes the House, he will get it into the Senate and get it on the floor with expedient, and I do mean expedient time frame. So we've got a chance to get this done, but we need your help to blow up their numbers. And Republicans, you guys are not the ones out here standing facing off with the BLM, with Antifa and others. You're not at these city council meetings when we're fighting to save our Texas history like our organization has done since 2017. Do your job, or else we're gonna have to issue pink slips, and if you don't think that we won't rail against you come re-election, we're taking a good list down. This today tops out over 240 hours that we have spent, and that's not collective. That is each one of us, 240 hours here at the Capitol working on this bill. This is not a surprise, it's not coming out of left field. The will of the people have spoken. It's time for you to do your job. And to Texans, tomorrow, or it could be today when the video is coming out, we need you to light up Representative Hefner's email as well as his office line and let him know that we need the code card given to the calendars committee. And a code card is basically a card that says, I want this bill to move through the committee. All the committee members get it, and then things start moving inside that calendar committee. Like Randy mentioned, we've got until the 11th to get this done. If we don't get it until the 11th, then we've got 2 years of hard work still ahead of us fighting against the BLM, Antifa, and others. Don't let the liberals beat us. Is there anything else that y'all would like to add before we end this video?
I would like to say one more thing about the people there's 11 people on this committee and only 3 of them are Democrats. And the Republicans are trying their best to be so nice to the Democrats, you know, be goody-goody to them because they're afraid they might make them mad. Well, you know what, who cares? You know, they hold the House and the Senate. There's absolutely no reason to be pushing this bill. And I can guarantee you that if the Democrats ever got back into power, they wouldn't give the Republicans the time of day. They wouldn't care nothing for them, and they need to start acting like they've got a set and go ahead and pass this bill. You know, it's getting ridiculous that they even have to go through this.
Anybody else have anything they want to add?
Yeah, I got a couple of things actually. I don't know, I know these fine men and many others have done this, but we have stood up against these vile people. And by vile people, I mean the ones that show up to rip these monuments down. We have stood up to them time and time again, spent nights at monuments to try to protect what was there, because these people don't care. They will tear anything down. We are literally risking our lives out there because we've all had them threatened by these vile individuals, had vile stuff thrown at us for no telling what's in it. So if they want another 2 years, we'll step it up a notch if we have to, but we don't want to do that. We need to get this bill passed and move on.
And there's no reason as Texans, we understand you work and that you can't always come up here to the Capitol to do this, but there's no reason for you not to be able to pick up your phone call, make a 5-minute phone call, or write an email to Representative Hefner or any other of the calendars committee representatives and let them know you want HB 2713 passed. God bless Texas, and let's get this done.